The title of this episode is Gaslighting, the silent poison that destroys your mind. Today, I want to help you recognize something that many women miss in their relationships, and that's gaslighting. Out of all the different forms of domestic abuse I endured for many years, the physical violence, the emotional abuse, the verbal attacks, the financial abuse. To me, out of all of those, gaslighting was the worst. Why? Because gaslighting is one of the most dangerous and deceptive forms of domestic abuse because it doesn't leave any visible scars, no bruises like physical violence. Because you are not physically attacked in gaslighting. What you are, your mind is attacked, your memory, your judgment, not your body. And so today, I want to share with you how gaslighting works. It works as a silent poison that destroys your mind and then your total self. Question: have you ever been told that something didn't happen when you knew it did? Have you ever been made to feel like you were the problem when deep down inside you felt like something is not quite right? Well, I lived like that for years, and I didn't realize that I was in a battle for my mind. I didn't know anything about the term gaslighting. And beloved, I'm telling you, gaslighting is a silent poison that can destroy you if you don't recognize it. For over 40 years, I lived in two marriages. One was physically violent, and the other was mentally a mental war. And with the second marriage, nothing physical, but I was living in a reality of constantly being questioned. Questioned what I saw. It was denied. What I felt was dismissed, and what I knew was twisted. And slowly but surely, something began to happen within me. When I went into that marriage, I was full of confidence. I had great self-esteem, but slowly I started doubting myself. I started questioning my memory, my judgment, even my sanity. But what I didn't know then, but I know now, is that I was under attack, not physically, but mentally. And you would say, well, you're in a marriage. Why in the world would your partner, your spouse, want to do this to you? I don't know. Some people have such low self-esteem that they're not really physically, they don't feel right unless they bring you down to their level. And like I said before, I didn't know anything about gaslighting, but I do now. And that's why I want to share what I have learned with you. You see, gaslighting is a form of emotional and psychological abuse. Gaslighting is when someone denies your reality, twists the truth, and makes you feel confused. And this confusion causes you to question yourself. And it is this confusion that becomes so dangerous because that's when can become manipulation. And the subtle thing about gaslighting, you don't even realize what's happening to you. You're losing yourself. And today I want to give you some warning signs to help you understand and to recognize if you are experiencing in any of these uh, signs that you may be gaslit. So if you're constantly second guessing yourself, if you feel confused after conversations, if you apologize even when you've done nothing wrong, if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, if you have feel anything like this, and you hear the terms, you relate something that happened and then you are told that never happened, or you're just too sensitive. You're too dramatic. You just over sensitize things, or you're just imagining that. If you hear any of this, you may be in a gaslighting situation because it will cause you to begin to doubt your own reality. And over time, this continues to happen. It will break your confidence and silence your voice. So, this is why gaslighting is so dangerous. And I think out of all of the forms of abuse, gaslighting to me is the worst because it doesn't just hurt your feelings, no, it reprograms your thinking and it disconnects you from truth. And once a person begins to control your mind, they can control your life. But hear me, and hear me clearly, beloved. You may have been confused, but remember, God is not the author of confusion. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, that God is a God of peace, not confusion. So if you are living in a constant state of confusion, that is not coming from God, no. And that confusion is a signal, it is a warning that something is not quite right. And let me say to you gently but firmly, you are not crazy. You are not imagining things, as they say. And what you are experiencing has a name. It's called gaslighting. And once you name it, once you can see it, then you'll never be able to unsee it. And then you can begin to break free from it. Beloved, you do not have to live in confusion. You do not have to keep questioning your reality. You don't have to stay in a place where your mind is constantly under attack. No, God wants to restore your clarity, your confidence, and your peace. And it begins with this: recognizing the truth. If this message spoke to you, I want you to subscribe to Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan. Subscribe, like, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Share it with someone who may be silently suffering. And I want you to visit my website. My website is www.jnbministries.org. On that website, my website, there are resources, many that may interest you. One resource in particular is my curriculum called 7 Power Keys. Those 7 power keys helped me to heal and recover from the trauma and drama of domestic abuse. Also, on my website is my memoir, my book that explains all of the 42 years that I lived through domestic abuse, the various kinds. But most importantly, my book tells how my life had a happy ending. And so, reading it, you may discover some things that will help you also. There are biblical teachings, there are lots of resources on my website. So, turn to it, go in it, discover what's in there. www.jnbministries.org. So, beloved, gaslighting is not just emotional pain, but gaslighting can be mental warfare. And we want you to recover, and we want you to be aware, and we want you to share this website, subscribe, like, and we'll be back with another very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan, and I'm delighted that you gave me your time. Talk with you soon.